pulled the oil pan, pulled the carb and everything, and got the valve covers off. It looks pretty clean, not bad. I'll have my engine friend look at it, and then we'll start tearing it apart and ordering parts for it. Deciding what cam to do and everything. See if I can roll it over real quick. I'll have to get off video, roll it over, but that's that. Trying to get a parts cleaner and start cleaning it. Got it rolled over. Here's the top side. Got some carbon buildup, but it's not terrible. I didn't see any metal in the oil or anything. Gonna go back with all new parts and it should be pretty good. May not have to do new push rods and stuff, but do new valve seals, new cam, new lifters, cam bearings, all that. New water pump, but I'll show it when I get it torn apart more, and I'll probably start grinding the frame more tomorrow. Did a wire wheel. I was doing sandpaper. This cleaned up nicer. Got to tear the whole front end apart, and that'll be next week. Hello. I just got a parts cleaner today. Got the Central Pneumatic from Harbor Freight. Yeah, I already got it dirty. Clean these bolts. They look pretty good compared. Those are the intake bolts. And here's a valve cover I cleaned in it. I'm gonna pressure wash them as well again. There's a few spots I can get down in tight with pressure washer. I didn't pressure wash them yet. This one I barely did. I'm gonna try to let them soak in that degreaser and then pressure wash them and then brush what I have to, but it'll be a lot quicker if I pressure wash them. I'll start next week when I get back from C10 Nationals at the Speedway and clean the rest of the engine parts and then start tearing the motor apart. But this is pretty good. Don't need to get much better than that, but in the corners, you get the paint to stick. Just sanded this one a little bit. That'll definitely be handy though. Got a lot of cleaning. I got a little more tore apart on the truck. I'm gonna replace all the bushings on the control arms, grind them down, paint them. Tomorrow night I gotta get that out. And we're gonna paint the front half up to here. Rebuild the front end, all new bushings and everything. New front end parts. Pull the brake line off. May get them new, I'm not sure yet. And then we'll paint the back half and tarp this and pull the back end off before we paint it. So we're able to roll it around easier. And it don't matter if you can see a paint line underneath. It'll be hidden under the cab. But got that far so far. But turned out pretty nice. Shouldn't. Trying to think. I'm probably gonna use the same paint we used on the trailer, and also I used on a flatbed square body before on the bed. Got the parts cleaned up pretty there. The old parts washer helped, and letting it sit in the degreaser, then pressure washing it. I'll show some videos tomorrow when I get all this cleaned up and pull the brake lines off and see how it looks tomorrow night, getting all that. And I need to do under that as well on the trans mount. Hopefully I'll start on this soon. I'm gonna have a friend help me go through the engine and do it here at the house. But that's it. I'll come back tomorrow. Got the frame painted today halfway and pulled the heater assembly out and heater cord, and I'm gonna measure up so I can order vintage air. It's drying down pretty smooth. looks good. Painting the truck white metallic. See where I painted the badge. Gotta do the other side as well. I'll put together the front suspension next weekend, and then I'll paint the back half and put the paint line in the groove down there. I'm waiting on some more control arms and stuff to come this week. Heater core boxes out. I gotta take the defrost out and figure that out with the vintage air. I think I'm gonna get the number 2 system. I have the Gen 4 in my C10. Gotta weld this up and smooth it off and figure all this out. Now there's some block off plates online. Gotta do some cleaning, but figure out what lines need to stay, leave the light, and I'll probably save this. I'm gonna just try to get the chassis out of the way next weekend. I can start on the bed, and then I'll finish with the cab. But that'll be all for today. I've got the lower control arm, upper coil spring, and the spindle in. I've never done this before. I don't know if this is the right way. I've seen it online. It seemed a little safer. So the fact that when it pulls up, it pulls out. So then I had to pry bar the crap out of it. I got the Milwaukee set on too. She was really chooching, but it's in there. Didn't mess up the frame paint. Took a little bit of the coil, but that's all right. I may touch it up, but I mean, it's gonna get bad over time. But looks good. I'm gonna go ahead and do that on the other side. It worked. May not have been the best I did, but at least it's on there. I'll do the other side. Honestly though, if it came apart once I got that castle nut on them when I was shoving over with the pry bar and loosen it, it would have been contained better than on the floor. So I kind of like this way. I'll get the other side ripping and I'll be back with y'all when I get it together. I'm back. I made a mistake. You live and you learn. So that I got on a little bit ago, or a long bit ago. I've had to take a break, got fired up, got a mess, got to clean it all up. Had to order bushings, or bump stops, whatever you gonna call them. I forgot, got these new Moog control arms that had all the bushings for the side, ball joints already installed. Didn't even think about the bump stops. I looked at it the other day, blew it off, forgot about it. Gotta pull the coil spring out again to do that. Probably honestly be easier just take it off, because once you get the coil off, gotta go ahead and pull the shock out. And I'm gonna hook it up how I had it before. It's a little sketchy, but I may just pop it out, but I don't know. This is all new parts. I'm gonna try to keep it from blowing out, but forgot that. The one, wherever the other one goes down here, I can do, but top one, I'm gonna have to pull it. Got them coming. I think they're gonna come Wednesday or Thursday. I'm gonna go ahead and paint the back half tomorrow, so I'm dropping the axle out. Just got the brake drums off. They were seized on there pretty good, but nothing too bad. I got all new springs and brake drums and pads. Got the other side off as well. I'm about ready to go ahead and pull the axle, and then I'll pull the lease last, I guess. I've never done that. This side I ain't shot. This side's like smoke compared to the other side. It's dirty. I'm about to shoot some old brake clean 5000 on there and see what it turns out. Sounds factory to me. I'll come back when I get the axle out, and I'm gonna start cleaning the frame up on the inside and clean the axle a little more. Honestly, I'm not too picky though. I hit it the other day as best as I could. Maybe I'll get in there a little more, and definitely need to do underneath the frame. I'll hit the axle more back in the back. I did there the other day. I'm gonna have to get the brake lines out in a little bit and go from there. But I'll be back when I get the axle out. Well, I got the rear axle out and still got to pull the leaves. Looking at a little more and get them pulled, and the shocks won't be bad there. Rear end I need to look into, make sure it's all good. Got to pull the wheel cylinders off, and then it'll be ready to be prepped and painted. Glad I pulled it off for sure, but we'll get it better. And now I can clean up the rear end the rest, and we'll tape the front, put the paint line in the middle, and go ahead and paint the back half. Hopefully tomorrow night. Then I can wait on the front end parts. I'll be glad to have this back half done. Probably need to replace these too. They're pretty rusty. Like right up here is bad looking. I'll get new ones and put them on and then take them off afterwards. Go ahead and pull the rear bumper off in a bit. Axle needs some cleaning for sure. Wasn't too bad. She's a little heavy. Definitely feel it in the morning. Getting quite a bit done. I gotta pick up all these front end parts, get it organized, since it's gonna be at least Wednesday or Thursday for them bushings. And then tomorrow, I'm gonna go ahead and tear that apart, and then we can go ahead and plastic this to there. I'll scuff it up to that line, paint the rest, but I'm gonna go ahead and take that off before I paint and be able to organize it and keep everything together. But I'm gonna go ahead and bag these as well. It's nice to keep everything kind of together so you know where it goes. I'm terrible about getting going on something else and then I lose where it's at. But I'll be back in a little bit maybe when I get the leaf springs leaf springs off, and both of them, and go from there. Need to clean the core support as well. May paint it this weekend as well. Got it out there. I got to take the radiator out, but gonna do as much as I can this weekend, long Memorial weekend. So try to get everything rolling, and then once I get this frame out and that, I'm gonna start on the engine with our friend and be able to take it off to the machine shop to vat the block and do bearings, cam bearings, crank, and we'll do the rest of it. And get a little bit of more small stuff painted black, and then have more room to do the body work. And it'd be nice eventually when I get the engine transit, I'll go ahead and set it in there because I'll be able to drop it on with it already installed, plumb all the lines. I left the gas lines, but I gotta get new brake lines. They were pretty rough, but we'll go from there. I'll be back when I get that rest of it out. That's probably all for tonight. Hi. Haven't taken that apart yet. I'll do that tomorrow, and then I'm gonna pull it outside, carry it, and finish the back half. We'll tape off the front, and we're gonna shoot that over there in our temporary paint booth. But I got the coils out. Coils, what am I thinking? I didn't get you out yet. Got the leaf springs out. I gotta figure if I'm doing them bushings or not. I do have an air hammer. I never had one before, so I think I could air hammer them out. Also on the leaves. Gotta take the shocks off, sand all this. It'll be ready to paint tomorrow. At least doing the frame, maybe the rear end and lease and the shock mounts. Probably not core support or bumper, but I'm getting there. She was lightweight. I had to put the tires on there. Little sketch. There you go. Came apart pretty quick. Decided to go ahead and take the bumper off, and she's about ready to paint tomorrow. Get that deal off. I mean, I've already sanded the most of it. I need to do the underneath, but get the gas tank strap off, get that brake line off, get the wire wheel out and sandpaper, and go from there tomorrow. Then I'll wipe it down with some lacquer thinner and paint it. But at least next week I'll have it where I can just start putting it together on the suspension. And I'll see if I need to buy any more parts. I know I'm not doing brake lines yet, but everything else I will. That'll be all for tonight. Catch you on the next one. I'm back. I got the front end done together. Still got to do the front end parts. Got all the new control arms and everything in. I reused the spindles, reused the coils, but I painted them. I'll put in the front end parts once I get the gearbox cleaned up. Still working on it. I'm gonna call it quits for tonight, but I got the leaf springs done. Got the hangers done. I'm working on the sway bar. Gonna cut that end link off. Getting it clean. That whole divot was filled with all that. This side's still got a bunch. Is that side here? Let's see. Over here. That side's full. That side's cleaned out. It was pretty dirty, but it's a going. Glad just to get this done so I can get it out of the way. But I'll come back on episode 3 when I am painting the rear end parts, and then I'll get it back together and get a start on the engine here, so that'll be nice. Thank you. Please like, share, and subscribe.